This week we had a lot of interesting news about The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
The Xbox One made some big changes, for better or worse.
And I'm getting severe sunburn on PMI 2.5.
Today is Friday, June 21st, 2013.
And
it is the first day of summer.
It's a very special day because I became a man, Jake became a woman.
It's hot.
And Eric, you just got married.
I cloned and I'm number 2.
To yourself. Other than that, there's no changes. Let's just get on with the show.
Yeah, I don't see any big changes.
No.
What? We're in the great outdoors!
Eric, did you take the outdoors and did you put it in our set?
No, we're in the real great outdoors because it is time for summer camp PMI.
This is real oxygen?
This is real oxygen you're breathing in.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's
There's
hot.
bugs.
It's the only thing you've said this entire
It's
time.
miserable.
There's bugs.
Thank you,
I
Jake.
hate it.
So welcome to PMI 2.5. It is indeed PMI summer camp, and the way I see it, if this goes well, we'll have 3.5, 4.5, 10.5. Every summer
God,
we'll go to summer camp. It'll be a blast.
We're
It's like
just like
the iPhone.
iPhones. We're just like iPhones. Yeah.
We're finally
technology.
Before we get into this week's episode of Pretty Much It, we just want to make sure that you know we had a couple of cool reviews this week. Reviews of Monsters University, World War Z, and speaking of zombies, The Last of Us, which I have to say...
technically they're not zombies,
You're
Eric.
right, I'm sorry. Also linked down in the info is the trailer segment that we do where we talk about all the new trailers, so check that out. Don't miss it.
We're still doing that, even
We
with
are
all the
indeed.
changes.
Summer camp don't stop, no trailers.
No, it doesn't.
But now, without further ado, let's get into this week's news, starting off with movie news,
Boy,
as
oh
per
boy.
usual.
Is it going to be Marvel news?
It's fake Marvel news.
God, Jake.
Hey, you
why
know what?
can't you make the news better?
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Marvel news.
I guess that's true. So let's talk about it. Like I said, it's fake Marvel news. It is The Amazing Spider-Man. Sony shaking things up this week. I can't believe the news.
I heard
First
a
things
lot of
first,
riff-raff.
let's do the smaller
There's
stuff.
some riff-raff and some rigmaroles.
We've got 2 coming out,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
All right.
Now what about 3 and 4 coming out in 2016 and 2018?
Hold on, 4?
Yep. Which, of course, the last one didn't make it to 4,
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens.
We're
They'll
finally
probably
gonna
be
make
rebooting
it to 4.
Yeah, they might reboot it again. But yeah, so we've got 2014, 2016, and 2018. Looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man 2, 3, and 4.
They're pumping them out like
Boy,
Call
oh
of Duties,
boy.
aren't they?
Yes, they are. But the slightly bigger news this week, not the biggest news, we'll get to that next, but the slightly bigger news is that Felicity Jones, who we know is supposed to be in the movie as Felicia Hardy, well, actually, we talked about this a long time ago, and we
Yeah.
weren't sure what it was, but she's in it. She is.
Uh-huh.
And Felicia Hardy, of course, as you know, is Black Cat.
Black Cat.
So Peter Parker's gonna get his D wet.
3 times. It's too many, you know, for someone who's a nerd, he has a lot of love interests.
What happens is Felicity Jones was on a talk show. No, she was in an interview, and someone asked her about Black Cat, and she kind of like stumbled over her words because I guess she's not supposed to say
no.
it. So, you know, whenever they stumble, it's kind of like
Cats don't stumble.
Cats don't stumble; they land on their feet. But so she did not land on her feet, which means she's not a
broke her
cat,
ankle?
but she is a cat. I think she's going to be Black Cat in this movie. So you might be thinking, "My God, this movie's overcrowded, huh?" We've got new characters. Let's go through them. We've got
Electro.
Electric Man.
We've got Vulture. We've got
Maybe Vulture.
Norman, yes, potentially Vulture.
Norman Osborn.
Last week's news might not be true. Norman/Goblin, Harry Osborn,
Did we say Rhino?
Rhino, Mary Jane, and Black Cat. But wait!
There's
but wait,
more.
because Mary Jane has been cut from the film. She has been cut from the
boy,
film
oh boy.
completely.
Which is very interesting.
Shailene Woodley, she said, you know, I'm bummed out, but it is what it is. You know, they've got the plot going where they want to go. And Mark Webb confirmed it. He said, you know, I wanted to streamline the Gwen storyline and continue
Why
with
make
that.
this decision so late into the game? They shot all
They're
those
in
scenes.
principal photography, and they're...
Yeah.
I think it's like
so you know
almost
what
done.
You know what that means? They're shooting without a finished script, which is what Spider-Man 1 felt like.
Maybe they changed it. I don't know. But she's out. Not only that, it actually gets worse for poor Shailene Woodley, who, as you know, is a cutie and I wouldn't mind seeing on screen.
Did they touch her?
They didn't touch her. As far as I
Oh.
know, that's not the news. Apparently, she's going to be recast completely.
Oh.
Ooh, what did
that's
she do wrong? That's what
like
I wanna know.
That's like a smack and then a kick to the ovaries.
So I was going to say to the
I just
groin,
want to know
but you
what
went even further.
what
She's a
did she
woman.
say? What did she do wrong?
In case you forgot, people actually did not like Shailene Woodley
Yeah,
as
that's
MJ.
right.
They didn't think she was hot enough or whatever. They didn't
think
think she
that-
was a bombshell enough.
You think that influenced this?
I mean, no, because that would be
No.
very petty
Yeah,
and
because
very offensive.
we all knew immediately that those were shots like offset.
Yeah.
Like any actor just walking onto the set is gonna look like a normal person.
Yeah.
I guess people don't understand that. Like any actor you see is not real.
Yeah,
pretty
it's all
much
it's all makeup and smoke and mirrors, you know.
Yeah,
Same with us.
But I'm just saying, yeah, right. We're not even here. I'm just saying that I guess those people will be happy, unless of course they cast someone they don't like.
It's just very bizarre.
It's a
Like,
very
this
strange
late in
thing.
the game, they were like, you know what? We're gonna make this massive change to the story. This is like not a small thing. With Gwen, they just completely changed her whole story, like into the movie.
I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. All I do know is that this thing is still jam-packed with characters. It is changing up at the last minute here in shooting, and so I don't know what to think.
I feel different now because, you know, we've been saying that Amazing Spider-Man 2 has like the bigger potential to be awesome.
But now
there's still these other things that are kind of
looks like
mucking it up.
they're making a lot of past mistakes.
Yeah.
So why don't you learn?
I guess we'll see what happens. We'll keep you guys posted, but cross your fingers that they can get it together.
What if you don't have any fingers, Eric? You keep in mind for the handicapped audience.
Then don't do that.
I say we take one of Mark Webb's fingers. That'll teach him.
We've got some news about Guardians of the Galaxy. We knew John C. Reilly was in the cast. We didn't know exactly who he'd be playing. There were rumors of different people. But apparently now he's playing a character who I don't know, called Roman Day?
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. I don't know who he is.
We were honest before you said let's be honest.
I mean, as you guys know, Guardians of the Galaxy isn't our strongest.
No.
It's the
Not our
whole
strongest
the
point.
whole cosmic Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm not too.
But I'm excited for it because I don't know anything about it. I want to see what they have, you know.
John C. Reilly? Yeah.
Right, so he's going to be apparently working with Glenn
is
Close's character, which we talked about last week. You know, they work in tandem. I guess they're almost like the people that go back and forth or some crap like that. I don't know. But I'm just saying, if you guys know who that is, you know who it is. We don't. John C. Reilly.
I know, yeah.
But while we're talking about Marvel news, let's talk really quickly about Avengers 2. Nothing huge, but Joss Whedon said or alluded to the fact that Loki will not be in Avengers 2.
Okay, that's all right.
It's fine by me. He's already been in. This is going to be like the third movie coming up when he's in Thor 2.
He's in Space Jam, so you know.
I think about to say Space Jam.
No, Space Jam.
But he is in a Space Jam for sure. Now the other news is that
Loki, he's in a bit of a jam.
Robert Downey Jr. signed on for 2 and 3. Avengers 2 and 3.
Interesting.
Welcome back.
All right. Well,
back,
that's official.
That is official. He signed on for Avengers 2 and 3 because we thought that he'd be kicking the bucket or leaving.
Everything he said was a lie.
Well, I mean, they just negotiated something, I guess. You know?
How old is he now?
No. He said specifically with Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh no, he's talking about Avengers.
That's what it is. Avengers 2 and 3.
He said that he's not doing Iron Man movies.
Oh
anymore.
yeah,
That's
Iron
right.
Man. I think they're done. They might be done with Iron Man movies, but Avengers, he's in, which is cool.
Neato.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's interesting though because they're ending. I mean, a lot of people really didn't like Iron Man 3, so it's funny that
They're
this is
ending
the
on that
final
note.
one. I feel like they'd want to give it one more shot.
No, I think end it.
It did very well.
Yeah.
It
So,
did.
The legacy is there. Next up, we've got some news about Jurassic Park 4. You pumped? Really? I thought you were excited for this.
I guess. I mean.
All right. Well,
I
anyway.
think the more we talked about it, the more we realized
It exists again.
It exists.
Yeah.
Well, remember, it was put on hiatus,
Yep.
right? Because they were working on the script, which is such a crazy thing. Work on the script. You know, that sounds about right to me. But it's now potentially on track for 2015 and to be shot in 3D as opposed to post-converted. That's all we got. Just a slight sliver of news.
Still directed by
Colin Trevorrow, if that's how you pronounce his name.
Okay.
He tweeted. He said, back at work.
I thought about when I saw this news. I thought about Jurassic Park 4 a little bit. Recently, no, not recently. I think maybe even a year or two ago, it got leaked of what originally Jurassic Park 4 was going to be, and they showed these monster dinosaur human hybrids. And at first, everybody was like, "That's stupid." Then I thought about it. And I'm like, "Wait a minute." Another movie about just dinosaurs?
I thought the same thing. I would rather see that just for the hell of it.
It's just for the hell, because if it's not, it'll just be people running from dinosaurs again. Like for the 4th time.
Right.
I disagree. I feel like every movie needs at least a little bit of dinosaur.
Oh, of course you need the dinosaurs.
It's Jurassic Park, yeah.
But it's like
it would be like hybrid human dinosaur creatures.
I mean, how do you explain that?
I don't know. That's what I go to the movie to find out.
For science, there was a doctor. He's like, we're gonna make a super soldier, but then something went awry, and
they could put mechs in it and stuff too.
It could be zombie dinosaurs. You get bit, and you turn your little arms
because of dinosaur DNA.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I just want. Dr. like Ian Malcolm returning to the island.
That's all you need.
And he's like, I don't want to be here.
We've had that.
That's the movie.
But like, it's just we've done that already.
They did that with the second one, yeah.
And the third one.
And the third one.
Oh wait, he didn't come back for the third one.
Well, the third one, it was Dr. Grant, and he was like, I don't want to be here.
But it was
so
just,
you want him? You want the doctor to not want to be there?
I want everyone to not
in the third one. In the third one, it was just people running away from dinosaurs.
Pterodactyls.
And pterodactyls.
The pterodactyl part was really cool. I will give them that.
What about the part when they had to reach in the poop? Remember that?
Classic.
Classic Jurassic Park poop scene.
But so 2015, shot in 3D. might be coming at you.
At least we have a year.
Next, we have some quick stories. First one is about Dumb and Dumber 2, T.O., which, as we talked about last week, got dropped by who? Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers dropped it, yeah.
Now we have someone picking it up, and it is Universal. They decided they were dumb enough to do it. And it's a pun on Dumb and Dumber.
Picked it back up.
They decided to do it.
It was like during a storm when a little baby bird nest falls out of a tree and a little bird is dying.
And you kiss it on the lips and you nurse it back to life.
And now it's back.
And it flies away.
And they said that Jim Carrey and what's-his-face are all on board.
Jeff Daniels, they're on board.
I listened to the Nerdist podcast where they were talking about it, and a lot of the information came out. And the Farrelly brothers were talking about how they spent like 2 years writing the script, and they like did all this weird stuff. They said that
it's a little masterpiece.
They're praising it, but they made it.
So you know.
But they did say that they're like working things in with the first one. So now you're gonna think back to the first one, and you're gonna be like, "Oh crap! I can't believe they like worked that in this way."
So potential to be
kind
of
like
fun.
They're doing interesting stuff.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying.
As long as they're because like Dumb and Dumber isn't the kind of thing I would expect a studio to milk. You know, like they're milking like Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber is not the kind of thing you bank nostalgia on.
No, it's a smaller thing.
It sounds like something they think they wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I do think the Farrelly brothers have kind of lost their
way.
Their buddy comedy type of thing going on.
What's the last thing they made?
I think the Three Stooges is what they did.
Oh, Jesus.
That wasn't terrible.
No.
I think I'm like stuck in a little rut over here.
Another quick story, and I just wanted to mention it because it's interesting how this is a little bit different from the other stories we've talked about where established actors, directors, whoever, are going to Kickstarter and Indiegogo and stuff like that to fund their projects. Now, this one is James Franco. And when I first read that James Franco was looking for $500,000, I was like,
that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, what? Are you kidding? I was almost, I mean, I don't care. They can do whatever they want, but I was like, really?
But still,
turns out it's something that he wrote. It's adaptation of something he wrote, but it's for brand new up-and-coming directors he's helping to raise money for their films that are based on something he wrote. So obviously he's got a stake in it, but it's interesting because it's almost like, it's more so, you know, I mean, he could just give them his own money, really, but, you know, I guess they're going to be tiny little things. They might not make back a ton of money, so I guess this is how he's doing it, but it's not him. It's for up-and-coming directors. He's trying to push them, so that's kind of cool, I
think
guess.
that's good in a sense because it's smart. He's kind of turning the model on its head.
And what's interesting is we're talking about it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? If he did it himself, we might never have heard of it. But the fact that he's talking about it, James Franco's looking for $500,000, everybody's talking about it.
It's not for like, you know, his gain or something he wants to do.
He's not going to make anything from it.
It's not Zach Braff who just has this stupid idea and he wants to make a stupid movie. I'm going to see it. I gave them like $200, but...
what was that sentence just about?
Another quick story about the Houdini film that is in the works. Remember we talked about this a long time ago?
Yeah.
Not Dini. Who's Dini? It's Houdini. Harry Houdini.
Paul Dini?
Houdou.
No, Houdini. Harry Houdini. Eric Weiss, if you're nasty. Basically, or Weiss, if you're German. Yeah. Basically, we talked about this a while ago. I was really disappointed because I read the book. It's based on The Secret Life of Harry Houdini.
That's right.
The Secret Life of Houdini.
They were turning into like a crime thriller.
Like a crime thriller action movie, and
like
that's
Sherlock
just
Holmes.
terrible. And now he was a spy at one point, you know, apparently. But that's not the interesting stuff, in my opinion. I think the interesting stuff would be a much slower sort of thing and a much quieter movie. No, right. No. The director they have gone with, apparently, or the director that's in the running, in the final talks, is Dean Parisot. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I believe the most recent thing he's got coming out is Red 2. So, needless to say, it's going to be not the movie it could be, not the movie it should be.
It sounds like it sounds perfect for like how I would imagine like the studio would pitch this, like an action crime thriller, but with a twist, a magical twist.
He's a magician.
His name is sellable though. People will be like, "Whoa, the Houdini!"
Can you guys imagine what the taglines are going to be? Either abracadabra, or now you see it, or something really cheesy.
Dead.
Now he's dead.
Now you're dead.
Sleight of hand. That's the tagline. Sleight of hand.
In the trailer, there's a guy shooting at Houdini, and he whips.
He disappears.
He disappears,
which he never did.
Tablecloth and he disappears.
Yeah, much more interesting would be if it was a quieter movie. I think because he had a very interesting life.
Like a drama. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's that. And the last bit of news is unfortunate or not unfortunate, I guess, depending on who you are. If you're a fan of Logan's Run. It's fortunate because Logan's Run, they got a remake they're working on.
Another remake of another obscure movie. Why?
Yeah, I've never seen Logan's Run, but I know it's like
I don't
beloved
even
by
know
a lot of people.
It's a pretty cool story.
But the interesting news is that the Helmer, the creator, I guess, of BioShock, is going to be writing it. What's his name?
Ken Levine.
That's interesting.
Will be heading up the writing.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't know anything about either of it, really. But
he designed. Did he write BioShock? Or did
I think he created it?
He comes up with the whole ideas. He's the... This is good because a lot of his work he's used Logan's Run as a basis. Like that was something that he was influenced by.
Oh, so he's a big
something
fan.
he really enjoyed. So he's a huge fan.
So this is like a dream come true for him.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
That's why it's kind of cool.
All right, so I guess we'll keep an eye on it just as BioShock fans, not necessarily Logan's Run fans, right? But yeah, so let us know what you think of that. I'm sure Logan's Run fans will be either pissed off or excited.
I don't think there are any Logan's Run fans.
I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
Let us know.
But speaking of video games, we're going to talk about video games next with this guy and this guy and me maybe a little bit.
We'll talk about the games.
But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Wow, what do we do now that we're outside in the commercial break?
Nothing.
Are you ready, Jake?
Yep. Okay. Hang on.
Are you ready?
You need a little bit to get.
You okay?
Sorry. Stop looking. Okay. So video games, of course. Last week E3 was
E3.
The big thing we talked
So
about.
yeah,
We're still catching up.
Yeah, we don't got a lot of new video games.
Not a lot of new announcements or things.
But we got a pretty big thing to talk about.
One big thing.
One big
Huge.
thing.
A
huge big thing.
I don't even know how to introduce this, but
It's okay,
Xbox,
I'm ready.
Microsoft and Xbox One have actually announced that they are reversing pretty much most of their policies that people were not into.
Very interesting.
This means they're cutting the DRM, they're cutting the always online, they're cutting the location.
Yeah.
One might say it's an Xbox 180.
Oh wow, I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that one on. Can I leave? I can't even leave because I don't even know where to go.
We're in the middle of the woods.
Why were they doing this in the first place?
If they didn't need to, right?
It sounds like if it was this easy to kind of just say screw it, we're gonna change everything.
Makes it even worse.
It's curious because they never had a conference where they said why we're doing this.
Yeah. Well,
why did they do it?
You know what worries me about this is that even though they had these things that people didn't like, there were some parts of it that could be beneficial.
Yeah, they said they had to kibosh the whole idea of
sharing with your family and stuff like that.
Yeah, which was, I thought, a good idea.
Yeah, and the way you could bring your downloaded games to other places just by logging in.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
But now, couldn't you still do this stuff if you just stay always on? You know what I mean? Like, isn't there potential to be always on?
I'm sure they're gonna start to slowly reintegrate.
Yeah,
some
like,
of
I
those
don't see why they have to remove the features. Like, you just can't do it if you're not always on.
I mean, the one thing I just really wasn't happy about was not being able to let my friend borrow a game the normal way.
Buy and sell used
and
games
having to
stuff.
connect online all the time.
Yeah.
Granted, I am connected online.
Right,
all the
we
time,
are.
but
That's what I'm saying. Like, if
But
you
I would
want
just
the feature,
never
want to.
I would never want to be in the spot where, like, say, my internet goes out. I'm like, I can't play video games.
Yeah, that's
Could you imagine? Yeah, that's the type of thing you would do when the internet is out.
Yeah.
So now you can play this Xbox One offline, but when you first get it, you have to set it up.
It's got to have
connect
one
it to the
setup.
internet.
That's fair. I think that's pretty fair.
fair.
That's how most things work.
It just sucks if you're.
But it's still, I mean, it shows that.
You should pay for the. Look, if you can only afford the Xbox One and you can't afford the internet, pay for the internet first. You need to be in 2013,
get your
folks.
priorities.
Do that first. Yeah, that's a couple of months of internet.
It's just very interesting to see how this company pretty much responded directly to all the fan outcry.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. It's not the internet that did this. It's Sony that did this. It's Sony forced their hand.
I think it's a lot of
It's not the
numbers
complaining.
too.
Yeah, if Sony had never like one up them in this whole thing, and it was just people complaining, they would have never
might
done
have stayed
this.
the same.
Yeah, and I think the amount of people that just ran out and pre-ordered a PS4 and didn't pre-order an Xbox
They probably
One,
saw the numbers,
They probably
yeah.
did see the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't see the numbers, but they probably can. So it's kind of crazy. But what concerns me the most is that they built up this whole like system of how things are going to work, this whole ecosystem. The way games were going to be traded online and all these things,
This
and
is
then
like
they
their main thing.
and people are like, "Oh, why can't they just get rid of it?" Oh, and they just did, but it's not as easy as just getting rid of it.
Right,
They have to
yeah.
undo a lot of shit.
And they did a lot of work into it.
With all that resources they wasted, why did they do
Right.
it? Why
So
did they do
yeah,
it?
it's not as easy as a transition as you might
Someone-
think.
not
But they
as
didn't
clear-cut.
need to do it in the first place. Is the problem?
Someone at Microsoft is about to get so fired. It's because
Well, you think they're still there now?
Well, it was someone's idea. Someone in this board meeting and said, "Guys, what if the Xbox always had to be connected to the internet?" And someone said, "No." He said,
Yes.
yes."
Yeah.
Shut up.
I
We're
don't know.
doing it. And then
And then that guy was right.
that guy is not with us anymore.
I
guy's
just
the
do
king.
feel as much as like this that brought a lot of problems. Their new changes. At least they were different things. I feel like they did have them eventually towards a greater goal. Like at least they were trying.
At least they're trying
something.
Yeah.
something
They were like
new,
too far advanced almost.
Something
yeah.
new, something different.
Yeah, I was saying last episode, like with all these next generation things, there needs to be something more than better graphics. Like, what is the next generation? What
Yeah.
is it going to be? Because if you think about it, like the step up from Xbox to Xbox 360, while there was an interface change, it really was just better graphics.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah, it's not.
It took a while.
When did the internet come in?
The internet came in immediately with the Xbox 360.
So that was a big thing too, I guess.
But it didn't really like take off, and things have to develop. And I think they are going to try to redevelop these ideas further down the line, in a way that people might like them a little more.
Now, what about the sharing thing, though?
I thought the sharing thing was actually kind of cool.
Really?
But I only would have liked it if I could have also just brought the game to GameStop or let my
That's
friend
what I mean.
borrow it.
I mean, like that part is pretty lame, and that's clearly mainly just so they could sell more games.
Yeah.
So there are some pros and cons to the whole situation, but I think in general, Xbox made the right move if they want to sell this thing.
Yeah.
They want to sell consoles. They made the right move.
Everyone has a different opinion, but be sure to let us know yours, because you know what? I don't even want to fucking hear what you guys have to say. I'm sick of it. Don't actually put that in. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put it in.
No, don't put that in.
I'm gonna put it in.
That's so mean.
And that's it for news this week. Am I right or am I right?
That's it. That's all. That's
nothing major, nothing huge. Oh, the Xbox thing's pretty big. That was pretty big.
Xbox, yep.
But let's talk about the poll question, eh, boys? Speaking of Xbox, speaking of E3,
the poll came with us.
speaking of all that good stuff, we asked you guys last week, what was your favorite game shown at E3?
Yeah, huh.
Okay. Now, the answers were as follows. In third place, Star Wars Battlefront, which I think you guys forgot to mention, by the way, last week.
We might have,
There's
just
nothing to
because it was
mention.
a teaser.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
like
thought you guys were
5.
pumped for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
DICE
Yeah.
is making it, and they should be making it.
It was like 5 seconds.
Oh, it wasn't as big of a thing? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
But-
Second place, Batman Arkham Origins.
All right.
Surprising.
That's cool.
That's cool, but I was expecting something else.
I know what number 1 is.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
You guys
what you were
suck.
expecting?
I was expecting Kingdom Hearts to be like all 3.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for this week's episode of Pretty Much It.
I thought you were gonna say that was it forever.
PMI 2.5 Summer Camp.
It's hot.
Welcome to Summer Camp. It is hot.
Really hot. My
But you know what?
subs-
We're not done yet. You're not done yet, because you got to click in the info to go to watch us talk about this week's trailers for Anchorman 2 and all that dirty business. And other than that, we really hope you like PMI Summer Camp. This will just look better and better every week, I think.
If you
as
don't-
as we live in it,
If you don't like it, we put a lot of work into this.
and we're out here in the heat.
Just lie. Just lie to
Just
us.
pretend.
It's not forever, obviously. Summertime.
for the summer.
Summertime ends.
It does indeed. It ends actually mid-August. PMI 3.0 coming at you, but let's not think about that right now. Let's think about
Get
2.5. And that's pretty much it!
You didn't have to scream.
I could,
No.
and I did. And that's pretty much it.